and we are back at Silverstone for another video. This one's going to be a bit of a highlights package. The last one I did, which you can see maybe up here somewhere if I get it right, is a bit more of a feature length full race review from a race I did earlier in the week. But this was my last race of the week and it was an absolute corker. Had some fantastic battles with some fantastic drivers showing each other loads and loads of respect. So without any further ado, we are going to get straight on with it. Hope you enjoy. And we're here at the start. I am the pink car, 4 cars back, and I'm starting in 7th place, and I get an absolute rocket of a start. The first 2 guys ahead of me go nowhere. I then pass the 2 other guys, and I am 3rd by the first corner. Big crash behind me, caused by someone T-boning somebody else into the first corner. Oh, actually, do you know what? Let's go back and have a look at that. Why not? So now, unfortunately for this guy, Scott Willis, who told me about this incident on YouTube, in my YouTube comments on my last video, he thought the guy in front of him lost it. Unfortunately for you, Scott, that is entirely your fault. If you didn't get damaged for that, you are the luckiest man alive. Yeah, sorry pal, that's all on you. As we find ourselves on lap 4, I am being hounded by Ricardo Silva. And he is really putting me under loads of pressure. We've managed to gap the field behind. But as you can see, he's got a lot more pace than me, having a look at pretty much every opportunity that he possibly can. And he goes and gets the DRS down the back straight, and he's got a really good run on me, and he is alongside into Brooklands. I am absolutely powerless to defend against that. He is straight through, and I don't see him again for a little while. As we head on to lap 13, the guy behind me is Matt Sentel. He has been catching me, and because he has been catching me, I had to start putting some pace down. I'd been saving my tyres, and I dropped back from Ricardo, and because I had to start getting re-engaged again, I started to catch Ricardo, as Ricardo must have really burnt his tyres out early. So I was starting to come towards Ricardo, but Matt was starting to come towards me. As we find ourselves on the exit of Maggots and Beckett's, I am now in the DRS of Ricardo. Ricardo is zigzagging all the way down the pit lane, trying to break the toe. And as we come into Stowe, I'm starting to think about where I can get him. However, he decides he's had enough of those tyres and darts into the pits. Unfortunately for Ricardo, he has a bad pit stop. I don't know if he had some damage or he hadn't had his tyres selected, but unfortunately for him, we never see him again in this battle, unfortunately, because I think that would have been spicy enough. As we're now in the middle of lap 14, that has started to get very close to me, and is really starting to worry me that his pace is going to be too much for me. I'm having to push really hard, which again isn't going to be good for my tyres as we come into Maggots and Beckett. Because of his absolute relentless pace, Matt has managed to get into my DRS at this particular point. However, he isn't going to be the threat to me this lap, but next lap could be a little bit different. As we enter their Wellington straight, Matt is right behind me. We both got our DRS open because I just overtaken a back marker, so I had got the DRS point, which meant he wasn't able to get the jump on me. I think it saved me for that particular corner. But as I've gone a little bit deep, I've gone a bit slow through Luffield, and he is right behind me. He ducks out to the left hand side to try and go around the outside, but doesn't quite have the power, and it is the longer way round. So he's going to have to wait before he gets there to get me again. As again we head up into Maggots and Beckett, he's looking at every single opportunity he can now. I'm completely running out of grip. I have no tyres left whatsoever, and I am just trying to hold on for dear life. As he pulls out alongside me, he has DRS. There is not a lot I can do about it. I've decided I have had enough of these tyres. and I want to go into the pits. But Matt does the same thing, and we have to enter the pits together. Now, I wouldn't normally show a pit stop, but this one's actually quite interesting. As we come into the pit lane, which is so ridiculously slow, 55 miles an hour, I pull into the inside lane just to get myself lined up properly. But as you can see, he's got a gap on me, enough of a gap to slot back into. But as you'll see, when we come out of our pit boxes, as he goes up, comes down, I go up and come down, I get a bit of wheel spin away, so maybe I just got a better launch off the pit lane. We are next to each other. He gets the hammer down, wheel spins it, and looks like he touches the front of my car. Luckily, I don't get any damage. So, as we come into lap 18, Matt gets really on the curb, bottoms out, and misses turn 1. Has to take the escape route. Now, this is what you do. If you haven't done this before, and you go off at turn 1, this is how you return to the circuit safely and caring about other drivers. Really well done, Matt. You're an example to everybody. However, you cost me half a second because all I did was wonder about where you were going to be. But at least I came out ahead of you. But again, you still had massive pace and was coming after me. As we jump to lap 21, James Pinsker has joined the party. James Pinsker was the race leader. He disappeared off with a really good lead, pitted 3 or 4 laps after us, and had quite a long pit stop, but has so much pace in hand, he has managed to catch us. I mean, look at that move that he pulls up the inside of Matt. Don't see many people actually get that move off, but the amount of speed he was carrying has made it really possible. At this point, he's doing 1 minute 30s, while we're doing sort of 1 minute 32s. So the pace advantage he has over the pair of us is quite impressive. He's able to get down through the corner and just drive off the corner. Managed to slipstream me all the way up to Cops. As we take Cops, and he's right on my bumper. I know where he's coming as Matt goes off the circuit again. But I know where he's coming from. He's going to come straight at me down the hanger straight. Now, I'm not going to put up too much of a fight because I know he's much quicker and he's coming through whether I like it or not. So my optimum is to not lose time to the cars behind me, because if I fight him, all I'll do is lose time and destroy my tyres. But he slides through nice and easy at Stowe with no riposte from him. So as we go into the following lap and we come into the complex just before the Wellington straight, I run a little bit wide as my tyres are already starting to cry a little bit, and Matt gets a fantastic run on me. DRS open. Even though my DRS is open, he's able to get alongside me. Because I'm carrying the extra speed, I am able to go side by side with him into Luffield. As I hold the inside line, he takes a wide line on the entrance so he can tighten up on the exit and get a better run, as he does do, but just can't quite get near me just yet. But he aims to keep close to me and maybe get me into Cops. No, he's not quite close enough. He knows now he's going to have to wait until the hanger straight. Just thought I'd show this fantastic footage through Maggots and Beckett's. The cars look so good through there, and we do handle really well until the tyres start to go. As we enter lap 27, Matt has been all over me. He has been pushing me and pushing me. He hasn't really tried to make a move because he hasn't really had an opportunity. What he has forced me to do is destroy my tyres. But in the pace that we've been putting up through this race, which is high 32s and low 33s, we have managed to catch Alex Oliveira, who is staying on the medium tyres. But as Matt comes alongside me yet again, I hold off around the outside. I run completely wide off the circuit, but managed to hold a really tight line through Luffield. Again, the respect shown between me and Matt is absolutely fantastic, and some of the best racing I've had on this game over the last 6 months that I've been playing it. But the problem I've now got is he's got ahead of me and heading after Alex Oliveira first, and I wanted that position because then I could have got a little bit away from him. But what it does look like is Matt is going to have the chance now to take this place, as DRS is open for him. not open for me. Oh, there we go. I opened it. I must have forgotten to open it. It's amazing how often that happens. I might have to look into a bit of software that gives me a beep. As we join again with the three of us all in line, and Matt is having another look at Alex down into Brooklands. You can't quite get him on the entry, but what it does happen is, because with the tyres being so bad, it makes grip through Luffield very, very difficult. Alex runs wide and Matt sails on through. I unfortunately am not close enough to take advantage and have to settle to wait my turn. Now, as you find us coming out of Maggots and Beckett's, I got really, really close to him, but on the hanger straight I open my DRS and I have a really good look. I'm still not quite close enough to make the move. I'm going to have to think about where else I can make the move, because I'm not quite close enough to get the move done into this chicane. However, Alex brakes a little bit early, catches me off guard. I have to dart to the left hand side, and I do manage to go around the outside of him. It was a completely accidental overtake, but I'll take it. So with Alex firmly in my rear view and not having the pace to get anywhere near me for the rest of the race, I start to think about the rest of my race and how I have to get these tyres to the end after I've been pushing quite hard. So what I do is I try and back off through Maggots and Beckett's, and I just come off the throttle and try to use the brakes, try to use the gears to slow me down. Unfortunately, I run off the circuit because I just didn't slow down enough. What it's done is it's given Alex the opportunity to come straight back past me. I could have done some sort of violent chop to discourage him, but I don't drive like that. That was never going to be something I was going to do. So I now just have to fight really hard to figure out a way back past him. As we've skipped forward another lap, and now we come up past the old pits. I'm right in his wheel tracks as we go through Copse. He runs a little bit wide, he'd have got an off track for that. I think about the outside, I just don't have the space to get there to make it safely, so I have to tuck back in behind him as we go through the wonderful Maggots and Beckett section, just making sure I'm close enough to get my DRS open and to try and get past him. I tuck right underneath his gearbox, wait till the very last moment to pull out and get on the brakes and get into Stowe Corner and get ahead, and this time stay ahead. Now, as we enter the penultimate lap, another challenger has come into play. His name is Ian Bazzi. He has been catching me at a rapid rate of knots. I'm not quite certain when he pitted, but he's either pitted very, very late and has really good tyres on the car, or has just done a much better job at looking after his tyres than I have. I have completely run out of tyres at this point. I'm all over the track and I can't really hold on that much, but he is catching me and catching me. Again, I'm thinking about saving tyres. I've been doing it a lot the last few laps, backing off and getting it right, but knowing that Ian's catching me, I try and go a little bit quicker, but again I run off the circuit. I really should learn from my mistakes, but I haven't today. And all of a sudden he is right on my tail. His DRS isn't open because he wasn't in the detection zone, close enough in the detection zone for that particular corner. Because of my error, it brought him what is now alongside me coming into the final chicane. As we head into the final lap, I have no tyres left against the guy who is super duper racy and looks like he has much better tyres than me, or is just handling them better than me. As we head into the final lap, and Ian is really, really close now. I have to try and do the absolute most perfect lap I've ever done in my life, but with screaming tyres it's very, very difficult to do. As I come into the loop section, I go dead slow to try and make sure I can take the right hander, and then I lock up into the left hander, makes me run wide, and it gives Ian the chance to get really, really close to me to open his DRS as he flies down the straight. Following me, he doesn't quite have enough to get alongside me, but he does force me to go defensive. But then as I come into Luffield, my screaming tyres will not let me make the apex, and Ian is able to get alongside. We are side by side as we head into Copse, and we stay side by side through Copse. He pulls away from me to make sure that there's no dramas and has loses a little bit of speed, but he manages to hold on to the back of me through Maggots and Beckett's. He knows I'm vulnerable here because when you've got no grip, this is the hardest section of the circuit. As we come onto the hanger straight for the final time, he's already alongside me when he gets DRS, so I am absolutely powerless to defend. But somehow I managed to stay ahead by the time we get to the corner. He is still on the inside of me. We are still side by side. As we head into the final corner, I brake desperately late. I run out of brakes. I lock the front wheel. I can't get the car turned in, but he has so much more grip than me. He is able to get in, and again, I have a dead heat down to the finish line, but he just pit me. Oh, that was yet again an absolutely wonderful race at this wonderful circuit in this fantastic series where everyone treats everybody with so much respect. I can't wait to start Monza this week and hopefully have a whole load more cracking battles. If you want to watch those, I will be live streaming on Wednesday, so you can like, share and subscribe to my videos and you'll get a notification of when I go online. I'll hopefully make a few more of these videos as well if I have a few more cracking races. So thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again soon. Goodbye.